Imagine you make a simple decision. You're never going to sleep again. At first, it doesn't sound impossible. You've pulled an all-nighter before. Maybe you've stayed awake for 24 hours during exams, work, or a long trip. You were tired, but you survived. So what if you just kept going? What if one day became 2, then 3, then 4? Could your body adapt? Or would something far more disturbing happen? The truth is that sleep isn't just a way to rest. It's one of the most important maintenance processes your brain performs. Every hour you're awake, a chemical called adenosine builds up inside your brain, creating what's known as sleep pressure. Normally, sleep clears it away, allowing your brain to reset for the next day. But if you never sleep, that pressure keeps building. Your brain isn't simply becoming tired, it's slowly running out of the ability to function. The first day doesn't feel catastrophic. You're exhausted, but you're still able to talk, walk, and think. Then the small mistakes begin. You reread the same sentence several times before understanding it. You forget why you walked into a room. Conversations become harder to follow, and making even simple decisions starts feeling strangely difficult. This happens because the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for focus, judgment, and self-control, is one of the first areas affected by sleep deprivation. It's like trying to use a phone with only 1% battery left. It still works, but every task feels slower and less reliable. After about 24 hours, your brain starts behaving as if you've been drinking alcohol. Studies have shown that staying awake this long can impair reaction time and decision-making to a level similar to being legally intoxicated. The dangerous part is that you usually don't realize how impaired you've become. Your confidence stays high while your actual performance drops. You might believe you're thinking clearly, even though your brain is making more mistakes with every passing hour. Your emotions also begin changing. Minor inconveniences suddenly feel overwhelming. You become more irritable, more anxious, and far more sensitive to stress. That's because the amygdala, the brain's emotional alarm system, becomes overactive, while the prefrontal cortex loses some of its ability to keep those emotions under control. It's like driving a car where the accelerator works perfectly, but the brakes are slowly failing. Everything starts feeling like an emergency, even when nothing is actually wrong. Then your memory begins falling apart. Someone tells you their name, and seconds later, you've forgotten it. You lose track of conversations or misplace objects you were just holding. This happens because the hippocampus, which helps create new memories, depends heavily on healthy sleep. Without it, your brain continues receiving information but struggles to store it. It's not that you're no longer experiencing the world, your brain simply can't keep up with recording it. By the second day, things become much stranger. Your brain becomes so desperate for rest that it starts forcing tiny moments of sleep without your permission. These are called microsleeps, and they can last anywhere from a fraction of a second to several seconds. During that time, parts of your brain briefly shut down, even though your eyes may still be open. If you're driving, reading, or operating machinery, those missing seconds can be enough to cause a fatal accident. The frightening part is that many people don't even realize they've experienced a microsleep. To them, time simply disappears. As the hours continue, the line between reality and imagination starts to blur. People who stay awake for long periods often report seeing shadows move in the corner of their vision, or hearing sounds that aren't actually there. At first, these hallucinations are subtle, but they gradually become more vivid. Your brain relies on sleep to organize and filter information. Without that nightly reset, it becomes increasingly difficult to separate what's real from what your exhausted mind is creating. Your body also begins paying the price. The immune system becomes weaker, making it harder to fight infections. Hormones that regulate hunger become disrupted, causing many people to crave sugary, high-calorie foods. Stress hormones rise, blood pressure increases, and your body's ability to recover from even minor physical damage starts slowing down. Sleep isn't just recovery for the brain, it's maintenance for nearly every organ in your body. After several days without sleep, the effects become severe. Thinking becomes confused and disorganized. Conversations stop making sense. Some people experience paranoia, believing others are watching or following them. Others become unable to tell dreams apart from reality because the brain is no longer processing information normally. It's important to remember that very few people ever reach this stage, outside of rare medical conditions or carefully monitored scientific studies, because the body usually forces sleep long before then. This raises an obvious question. Can a person actually die from never sleeping? Surprisingly, not from ordinary sleep deprivation alone. Before reaching that point, your brain usually takes control through involuntary sleep, including microsleeps, making it almost impossible to stay awake indefinitely. However, there is an incredibly rare genetic disorder called fatal familial insomnia. People with this disease gradually lose the ability to sleep altogether. As weeks and months pass, their brains and bodies begin shutting down, eventually leading to death. It's one of the strongest pieces of evidence that sleep isn't optional. It's essential for human survival. The good news is that the damage caused by short-term sleep deprivation isn't usually permanent. After finally getting proper sleep, many cognitive functions begin recovering surprisingly quickly. Your attention improves, your emotions become easier to manage, and your brain starts repairing the systems that were struggling while you were awake. It's almost like restarting a computer that's been running for too long. Performance doesn't return instantly, but the recovery begins the moment you fall asleep. We often think of sleep as time that's being wasted because we're unconscious. In reality, it's one of the most productive things your body ever does. While you're asleep, your brain strengthens memories, removes waste products, regulates emotions, repairs cells, and prepares itself for another day. The hours you spend sleeping aren't hours you're losing. They're the reason the rest of your waking hours work at all. So the next time you're tempted to sacrifice another night of sleep to get a little more done, remember this. Staying awake doesn't give you more time. It slowly takes away the very thing you depend on to use that time wisely, your brain. Thanks for watching. Remember, every good day starts the night before. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. It helps more people discover it. And if you're curious about the hidden science behind the mind, the brain, and human behavior, subscribe for more videos like this. Until next time, take care of your brain. And don't skip your sleep.